Yo, what's going on? What's happening? Um, Question. Does Southern hospitality exist in the South? And the answer is no. You know, I was born in New York, no doubt. And I used to come down here for the summers. My grandmother, my grandfather stayed here. And they're originally from North Carolina. I used to come down here for the summers, and I had fun down here, man, when I was down here. You know what I'm saying? I ate watermelon, I ate, all of the southern food. I remember going over my great aunt's house and eating those big slabs of bacon, the grits that's real thick that you can't let it sit for a a period of time until it turns into cement. You know what I'm saying? Them homemade big butter biscuits. My great aunt, I remember it till this day, you know what I'm saying? That she didn't get an electric stove until like 1992. Beforehand, she cooked on a wooden stove, straight up. You know what I'm saying? And then after we ate that big breakfast, we would sit down and eat some cantaloupe, some honeydew melon, and watermelon. Yeah, man, when I came down here during the summers, I sat with the elders. You know what I'm saying? My great grandfather at the time, he's passed on. It's been a long time. It's been years since he's passed on. But for the most part, I would sit down with him and he would talk to me and everything. He was like I think he died like when he was like in his late 80s. They used to call me Skeet. At the time I was the only, child at that time. You know what I'm saying? There were no other grandchildren or great grandchildren around except for me. So I learned, from the elders, because I was around the elders during the summers when I used to come down, down in the South. So to make the long story short, my grandfather died, and we wound up moving down for good in the South. And during that time, the South was evolving, changing, you know what I mean? And a lot of times people would say evolution is good, to evolve, is good. But in this particular case, as far as dealing with the South, when the South started to grow, I saw the South gradually change for the worse. You know what I mean? It lost its source. You no longer had people that farmed and as much. And grew their own food. You know what I'm saying? The mechanics of the community were driven out. I saw that at one point in time, you would have a handyman in the community where he was a mechanic, a plumber, a carpenter, etc. Well, now they had changed the laws, and in order to practice those trades, you had to be certified by their schools. At one point in time, they used to teach trades inside the school. When I went to high school, that was like the last year that they taught you how to, like you could take up classes like electives on being a mechanic, being a carpenter. Real talk. And then you had these businesses, and I know I'm going real fast with it. I'm just trying to sum it all up real quick. You had these businesses, these big businesses. Well, not businesses. These big shopping centers, called Walmart. They deaded out the Kmart's, the Roses, True Value, your super Walmarts. They deaded out the mom and pop stores. They killed the moms and pop stores. You know what I'm saying? And now you have this, the New South, where a lot of these southern cities are liberals. They're not conservative. Like the South nowadays is no different from the North. I remember living in New York. And I would, walk past people and say hi or something, and they'd look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Visiting New York. I used to go up there for the summers. It's crazy. Like when I moved down to the South, I started going to New York for the summers and for the holidays, because I still have family up there. They looked at me like I was crazy. New Yorkers are some of the most rudest people. But nowadays, the Southerners are just as rude too. And capitalism has ran rampant in the South. Whereas at one point in time in the South, man, we had even though we use money and all the rest of that stuff, of course, but we had more like a barter system. You knew somebody over there that had cows, that on their farm. And you would go over there and you'll buy that cow. And then you'll take that cow, and the farmer may be the butcher, or may be a butcher down the street. You take the cow and and bring down the cow to the butcher, let's say the Johnson's family. And that butcher would take the cow, and you would say, hey, listen, I need this quartered, cut this way and cut that way, and blah, 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 blah. The butcher would take the cow and, gut it out, clean it, cut it up, and wrap paper around the meat with a rubber band or a string around it. And you'll take that meat. I'm talking about real grass-fed cows, not corn-fed. I'm talking about cows that didn't have no hormones or steroids injected in them. I'm talking about a purebred cow. You would take the body parts of the cow and put it in your deep freezer. We're talking about a time where the dollar bill circulated around the black community a couple of times, because we always knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody. Was all interconnected. If I needed my car fixed, Brother Larry over there had a mechanic store. A garage. Sister Susie over there grew a strawberry patch. I could get my strawberries from her, my blueberries, my raspberries, my blackberries. On that drill over there, she made the pound cakes, the strawberry cakes, the coconut cakes. Linda over there, I could go over there to get if she knew how to make dresses, skirts. If I had little daughters, she knew how to seam sew up pants and she was a tailor. We had businesses in our community. And no, I'm not a racist, but I truly believe that the black community took the biggest loss when we integrated into their world. I'm making a point here, because I know you're going to say, hey man, you're losing me. Oh, this video is supposed to be about Southern hospitality. Where you going with this? What I'm saying is that, being that, at least I'm talking about on the behalf of black people. Southerners walking around here with an attitude because they ain't got shit anymore. When I say good morning to a Southerner nowadays, they don't say good morning the same way, like they used to. Because the face of capitalism is here in the South and it's running rampant. It's all about money. It's all about the have and the have-nots. And that's not how the South was ran in the past. Nowadays, you have black people that just go to the grocery store to get their food. You hardly hear of anyone hunting for their food. You hardly hear of farming. These are the things that we need to know in the near future. What's going to happen if one day one of the power grids just shuts down? Well, shit, let me be real with you. This shit happened already a couple years ago. In one of these small towns a couple of minutes away from here in Charlotte. I forgot the name of it. Power grid. Somebody shot up the power grid and they were out of power for like over a week. And those people had to abandon their town, abandon their houses, and get and have rooms, rent rooms, and all the rest of that stuff, hotel rooms and all the rest of that stuff in Charlotte until they fix the power grid. But that would be unheard of in the past in the South. Motherfuckers could go without lights. People could manage. If they couldn't manage by themselves, they managed as a community. But that's no longer here or there nowadays. I can tell you, I live in the South. Or I can't even say this is the South. Charlotte is not the South. But I'm saying for the sake of the conversation, I live in the South. Well, you would call it the South because it's below the Mason-Dixon line. But I live in the South. And I can tell you, I'm not neighborly with any of my neighbors on this block, except for one. One family that live across the street from me, a black family. And we don't even have hardly the time to talk because we're always on the go. See, that's the problem. And this is the reason why part of the reason why Southern hospitality is dead, because everybody's on the go. It used to be a time where the South was easy living. Things were slow. And the New Yorkers would come down here and be like, man, this shit is slow, man. Y'all just slow and ain't too smart. You know what I'm saying? But anyone that got common sense, you want your life to be slow so you can enjoy every minute of it. A fast-paced life, it comes and goes. Fast money ain't good money. Slow money is. You're supposed to be able to enjoy your life. Anything that comes fast and quick is going to go just as quick or fast as it came. But everybody's on the go. Everybody's trying to chase after that dollar bill. And in the past, we didn't have to chase after it. We didn't have to indulge in capitalism because we had some form of freedom. Because with independency comes freedom. So why are you working so hard? Well, man, gas prices went up. Food prices went up. The water's going up. Well, in the South, you could eliminate that shit. Well, I'm not gonna say so much of the gas prices, but definitely the food prices if you growing your own food. If you're getting your milk from the same community that you live in, because Betty over there, she's a, what did they call it? I don't know. She got a dairy farm. She's milking cows. You talking about eggs are too expensive. Man, eggs too expensive in the store. Man, they do $12, $13. Well, shit, Betty, not only does she have a dairy farm, but she got chickens over there too that's laying eggs. No wonder why the South has lost its Southern hospitality. Because it's lost people have lost a lot of their independency, a lot of their freedom. Straight up. We gave it up to live in A materialistic world where if you ain't got a cell phone, you a nobody. If you ain't got a car in the South, you a nobody. If you don't have Gucci, Louis Vuitton, you a nobody. Nobody gave a fuck about that shit in the past in the South. Motherfuckers used to walk around with farmer outfits on. Straight up. You see the city slickers come down here from the north. Dressed all, you know what I'm saying, head to toe and shit. While the Southerners would be like shaking their head like, man, look at this guy. Probably can't goddamn put a goddamn shovel in the goddamn ground, but think he a motherfucking man. I had to learn the hard way. My grandmother had me out there chopping fucking wood, cutting grass. My great aunt had me out there putting seeds in the ground. My other aunt Pansy had me digging ditches and shit and all types of shit. I used to work for all of all of the elders. They taught me well. And I'll never forget that. Real shit. So whenever a New Yorker tells me, man, you ain't no real New Yorker, you ain't live in New York all your life, and da-da-da-da, and this and that, yeah, true, you can have it. You can have it. I ain't no New Yorker. I'm not. At least not from what I know. And I'm proud to know the shit that I know. Because my generation was the last generation to know what it was like to live in the South, to know what it's like. I'm talking about the people. We're talking about a race of people, blacks that is, that was pride, a race of prideful people. Yeah, in the South you had the dope dealers, the prostitutes and the pimps and all the rest of that shit, but they were a small community. Now it's the exact opposite. Everybody want to be a drug dealer. Everybody want to be a pimp. Everybody want to be a shotter, a shooter. It's not how it was back in the days. I'm talking about back in the days where women had a nice derriere. It was nice and thick. You knew. You know what I'm saying? That she been eating that cornbread and shit. Homegrown fat ass. I'm talking about a time when you would tip your hat down and say, good evening, ma'am. How you doing, sir? I'm talking about a time when you would shake a man's hand and they would grip it. And you better not fold. You better grip that man's hand, because if you don't, you ain't a real man. No shit. I got an uncle that can build a whole fucking community and ain't past the 6th grade. We talking about at that time, a race of black folks that was way more highly intelligent than what we are right now. Because they utilized their minds. They had human intelligence, not artificial ones. Not an artificial one, like how we do. We want to know something, we Google it, or either we go to ChatGPT. How the fuck your phone is smarter than you? What sense that make? How can you say that artificial intelligence is way more smarter than human intelligence, where artificial intelligence don't have the type of advanced technology that the average human intelligence have. And that is emotions, feelings, empathy, care, love. That's something that artificial intelligence can never have. And neither can it be taught that. And this is what we walked away from, because someone told us that emotions are weak, are our weakness. Whereas that's not true. Emotions is only our form of weakness when we can't control our emotions. When we become too emotional. They call me old head. And that's fine. I could tell that you're not cut from the same cloth that I am. You all are a different type of Negro. More like a genetically modified nigga. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't listen and sit down with the elders as they school me. So I'll be that. I just know if the shit hit the fan, it's going to take me, I ain't going to say it's going to be easy, you know what I mean? But I got some type of survival skills. Y'all motherfuckers running in that street, busting your guns and calling each other ops. Right? But you can't even go out there and shoot. When it comes to hunting for your food. What you know about that? You a killer, but you can't kill, hunt and kill. Fuck out of here, man. We lost our way. And the South will never be the same. It is done. It's gone. You know, cities like Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, gone. And South Carolina, you up next. Like, to be real with you, man, I was looking up the other day, I was thinking about that shit, and I was like, yo, man, they are literally like, if we don't put an end to this shit, if there's no divine intervention, because human beings are just going to continue to do the shit that they doing. You know, like if you don't know where we're headed, when these non-blacks are trying to get us to, as well as the Asians, I urge you to go online and type in type 1 and type 2 civilizations. I urge you to find out what Ray Kurzweil predicts. He's an engineer. He predicts by 2030 that man will be merged together with machines. We have lost our way. And I truly believe at the end of the day, there won't be nothing organic if we don't put an end to this bullshit that we're dealing with. That this will be Cybertron. There won't be nothing organic on this fucking planet. Everything will be machine. Artificial. Down to the fucking grass. As if we got artificial grass right now. Straight up. They manufacture that shit. You want some Bahama grass? It's called sod. They'll come out to your fucking damn house and roll your grass out as if it was a red carpet. As if it was red carpet. They'll roll that bitch out. This is not the way that the South used to be. There used to be seeds. I know y'all don't know this. We used to eat seeds. Grapes with seeds in them. Green ones. I'm talking about a time where watermelons were all seeded. You would cut that bitch open, and you and your family or your friends would sit out in the porch. This is black. When we embraced that sun, we were people of the sun back in the days. Sit out in that porch. Big mama say, go on out there and eat that watermelon. Be sunny and hot as shit. And we'd sit out there, eat that watermelon, and spit them seeds out in that grass. Everything had a seed to it. Everything. Nowadays, women, you're not even producing naturally anymore. That semen, that seed, you want to go when you want to have the time to have a baby. You want to go to the clinic, get your shit frozen, your eggs frozen, and then you say, oh yeah, it's time for me to have a baby. You want to go over there, get your eggs out, unfreeze those eggs. You know what I'm saying? Then go over here to the sperm bank, pick out what kind of man you want. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, what kind of sperm you want, whether it's white, black, etc. Put them shits together in a test tube and insert that shit into you. Call it artificial, what is it? Insemination, I think that's what it's called. Better yet, they're working on this thing right now. I've said this. I've talked about this numerous times, called ectolife. And ectolife is it's a womb facility. It's kind of like, you seen the Matrix? And, remember when Neo was, plugged up, in that, in the future world where it was the machines that was in control? It's like that. They're working on that as we speak. Where now you can take where in the near future, you can create the test tube baby, you know what I'm saying, and put it inside of an artificial womb in the ectolife facility. And the womb, or rather the incubator, will grow your child. That artificial womb, it'll be an artificial umbilical cord that will be fluids, you know what I'm saying, the specific a certain amount of nutrients that will be pumped into the baby. And you can literally grow your baby while you going to work and doing whatever the fuck you want to do. And you can track your baby and look at how it's doing on your smartphone. This is the technology that they're coming up with as we speak. So yeah, man. The South was the last. When they infiltrated the South and totally obliterated it, I knew it wasn't no hope. Real talk. And it's sad that nowadays these kids will never be able to see what the South really was about. Especially when it comes to Southern hospitality. Wow. Southern hospitality.